Welcome to Ask the Mountlake Terrace Cop. I'm Teresa Whipple. Sergeant Pat Lowe, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank
Good.
you. We're going to talk today about whether you should buy a gun for personal protection, protect your home, protect your family. It's a question I think that people may be wrestling with, and maybe you could provide some insight.
Sure. It's actually kind of a difficult question, and it's really an individual decision that needs to be made for each individual person. It's a really difficult decision to make. Gun ownership is a huge, huge responsibility, and it's not something that should be taken very lightly. And there's a lot of things to consider when you decide that you want to purchase a firearm for home protection or safety.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we probably won't get into a lot today is if you make that decision, what are you going to buy? And that's a whole nother long conversation that we could have some other time. But some of the things you need to consider are, have you made the decision that if you purchase a firearm, will you be able to actually use that to protect you or your family?
Yeah.
And that's a decision that needs to be made prior, obviously, to making that purchase. And once again, that's a big responsibility. So other things to consider are oftentimes people out there think that I'm going to go buy a gun and now I have home protection. And that's really irresponsible to have that line of thinking. You have hundreds of hours of training that may need to occur before you're ready to be reliable with a firearm for your home protection.
Yeah.
So, training such as how do I take a gun apart? How do I clean it? How do I load it? How do I shoot it?
Yeah.
How do I take it out of the holster?
Yeah.
How do I put it in a gun safe in my house? There's so many things to consider. And I would say it could be several months after the purchase of a firearm before maybe you're ready to use it for protection.
Okay. Yeah. So
So-
when you talk about gun ownership, you're really talking about some responsibilities that go along with that. And I remember watching a seminar that you did for the city of Mountlake Terrace a while ago, and you did a great job of explaining all of those different things. And I think the one thing that was really true, as you said, is you do have to have the training, and you also have to be prepared to know what to do if you really were confronted with that situation of using it.
Absolutely. And one of the problems that we run into is someone may purchase a handgun and they don't have that training. And oftentimes a bad guy will actually take the handgun away from the person who's using it, hopefully for protection,
Yeah.
and use it against them. And
Right.
that happens fairly regularly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the training is super important. And when we do the next seminar in Mountlake Terrace, we'll get very in-depth about the types of firearms you can purchase, the training that needs to occur, so on and so forth to help you make this decision.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be back again soon with another episode of Ask the Mountlake Terrace Cop.